Well, I'm joined now by Brian Becker, the executive director of the Answer Coalition. It's an anti-war and social justice organization. Hi there, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks.
What do you think's behind the timing of this?
Well, obviously, right before Moon Jae-in and Kim Jongun are about to meet, the North Koreans are trying to do something to which there could be reciprocation. They're saying, we're taking a step. This is a step-by-step diplomatic approach on the part of the DPRK. They're saying, we've completed our testing program. We have what we need. We don't want to expand. We don't want to accelerate. Now they're hoping that the United States also takes some measure. Could the U.S. do something? Yes, it could be de-escalating the U.S.-South Korean military footprint, which is perceived by the DPRK as a threat.
But do you trust the DPRK, and will they really stop these nuke tests?
I think the DPRK, if you look back to the past 25 years, whenever there's a good faith effort or a perception of a good faith effort by the United States, usually in cahoots with a progressive government in South Korea, North Korea has reciprocated. It was when George W. Bush declared them to be the axis of evil along with Iran and Iraq and prepared to invade Iraq, that the DPRK left the NPT, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and started building nuclear weapons. So it's a tit for tat. Will they reciprocate? If the U.S. makes the next move, I think we're on the road. This is a step-by-step diplomatic process.
So you're talking about steps. Are we moving in the right direction? Is Kim Jong-un making the right steps in order to please President Trump in light of the summit?
Well, I don't know if he's trying to please President Trump, but he's trying to show that the DPRK is a good faith negotiator. That's very important. Right now, Donald Trump has a lot of headwinds because there's big parts of the military-industrial complex in America who don't want a peace treaty with DPRK, don't want normalizations, in fact, see this as an incentive to build more weapons to escalate the U.S. military presence, the Asia pivot in the Asia-Pacific region. So Donald Trump, if he wants to go forward, he's going to meet a lot of headwinds. DPRK is trying to say to Donald Trump, look, we're willing to negotiate.
So the Korean Central News Agency is announcing that the DPRK really wants to focus on the economy right now. What's behind that?
Well, that's been true ever since Kim Jong-un came into office. He made the point, in fact, that by getting a nuclear deterrent, they could lessen the amount of money spent on conventional weapons. It's a cheaper form of military protection or military defense. And you can see, I was in the DPRK a few years ago. There's lots of production going on, lots of building, lots of construction going on. So yes, the DPRK government knows that if they can spend more money on consumer goods rather than military armaments, that can only be beneficial to how the people in North Korea receive and perceive their own government.
So you seem to think that they are trying to show good faith. They're only closing down one nuclear site, though, correct?
Yes, but again, this is step by step. In other words, the DPRK is not going to say, guess what, we're giving you everything in exchange for what? An empty promise. Also, the North Koreans are looking at what happened with Iran. Obama negotiated an Iran nuclear arms deal, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, whereby Iran gave up its nuclear weapons, allowed in weapons inspectors in exchange for lifting of sanctions, and then the U.S. appears to be reneging on it. So the North Koreans have a lot of skepticism about the American position. America has to show something to the DPRK. It has to be a two-way street.
What do you make of this? Are you surprised by this?
No, I was actually on CGTN 6 months ago, even when Donald Trump had all of his bluster and we're sending the Armada and it's going to be fire and fury and we're going to totally annihilate North Korea. And I thought then that there still was a very strong prospect for a negotiated outcome. Donald Trump could do this if he wants to do it, in spite of the fact that he has headwinds right here in Washington, D.C.
All righty. Well, Brian Becker, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.